So, Sandeep, Sandeep sir or Sandeep bhai, could you tell me what do you prefer?
Sandeep Bhai is the...
Of course, right? Of
Let's
course.
make it natural.
Yeah, for sure. So, how are you feeling here now? Coming to this ETHIndia after 3 years. I think it's been a journey for you yourself since.
So first, I should ask this question from you. How do you feel? For handling 400 hackers to 2,000 hackers, how do you feel first?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'll feel this after the event is over.
But it's surreal.
It's surreal. It's simply
when I went on stage, not even stage, when I entered the hall and I looked like, what the, that was my first reaction. What is this?
Yeah.
And it's so big, and it's heartwarming because with Devfolio and Polygon, we have done it together for the multiple years, even when COVID was there, doing all these monthly hackathons.
Yep.
I think all of those worked.
Yeah.
And now there's an in-person hackathon, and I think how many registrations were there?
We got 20,000 applications.
Come on. I think that is actually I keep saying that the number of developers in India, the population of developers in India, number of developers is bigger than the population of many European countries actually. So so many developers, and I think India is waking up to Web3. This is what I get the feeling. I also we did Polygon Connect, thousands of people showed up, 10,000 plus in pipeline and things like that. I think India is waking up to Web3, and that's a very good sign. And I keep saying that my personal mission is how do we get more Web3 unicorns built out of India, which will compel the governments that this is an industry which is giving employments to Indians, building wealth in India, and they come up with favorable regulation for this. So absolutely amazing experience, and all kudos to you guys, ETH Global, and hopefully to all the DevRel teams who are working across India, including Polygon, that these many people are there. Yeah.
And I think this is something personally I've seen at Polygon. Devs have been a very big part of your growth story as well. And what was your thinking behind focusing on devs as opposed to so many folks, they just go after different metrics, but for you from the start you were very focused. Even when we started working together, anything dev related we proposed, you just signed off immediately. What was your thought process there?
Yeah, I think somebody asked me just before, in another panel also, that how did you build this global brand and all that? And, the answer to that is the thinking also, actually there's no hard or any high level vision and things like that we created. That it was very natural. And I think coming from Ethereum community also, we were developers, developers in ETH ecosystem. So we saw how this whole ecosystem grew, right? So that tendency was natural in us, okay, this is the way to build it. If we have developers will build good applications, and they will bring users, and users will bring in transactions. It makes straightforward sense. And I don't think that there is any other kind of large level vision or strategy or anything needed. It's actually very, very natural. The way it is for you guys, developers are your customers in a way, and you try to do whatever you can to make sure that their life is easy. That's the same thing with us, and that's keep it simple is the main thing.
And just wanted to know what you have mentioned a couple of times that Ethereum specifically is something that's so close to your heart, and it really resonates with your values. What is that about it that still excites you, keeps it going? And
I think Ethereum changed my life that time. I would consider my life before Ethereum I was kind of a loser. I had a lot of potential. Everybody Sandeep will do this, but it was not happening. And I was thinking where is it all, all that promise. But I think with Ethereum, I found my, found my groove, or, because it made total sense. I found my home. And, why it is relevant to, it will always be relevant because, it changed our lives just like it has changed the lives of many people. And the other part about Ethereum is that Ethereum is so community focused and very decentralized that you feel yourself to be a part of the community. You feel yourself to be a part of Ethereum ecosystem. Like I was telling to Karthik, like, we don't think of Ethereum as that, from Ethereum Foundation or Vitalik's network, right? Like it's our network. I think the way you guys also feel it, right? You guys also, I know you keep on getting so many, big offers and all that from a lot of rival ecosystems, which you are not convinced on. And many of the times, like, even in the tough times, you have chosen to not say yes to them and, still, keep doing things for Ethereum, even when it was hard, even when it was really, really difficult to even survive financially. But I think you guys resisted. The same thing has been with us also. That, imagine how many L1s would have approached us that, no, why don't you come and build a layer 2 on this thing? Like, we are like, bro, first build the L1. Then we'll think about L2, right? So I mean, that feeling of belonging is the most strongest part of Ethereum, and that's why like people like you guys, us, and so many all across the world, fight for Ethereum ecosystem.
And just on other note, like we definitely, you must be getting so many questions about advice for founders and sticking through it. Like I want you to touch upon that, and I also wanted to have always wanted to ask you this personally, like. How did you, come up with the whole rebrand of going from Matic to Polygon, and what were you thinking back then? And then how do you see it panned out now?
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, like first question is the advice to the builders, and that's what I was telling on the stage also, that, now the focus comes back to the niche Web3 communities after whatever all has happened. So this is a great time to be building niche Web3 use cases. Like if you are building a game, try to think of some on-chain kind of game. If you are building some DeFi application, try to build some cool DeFi differentiated applications. And those are the only ones those are going to survive the test of time. Like not directly like something that makes, profit on day zero, or you think it makes some business, but, something that can really make a change in the world. And those kind of use cases become relevant. So focus on that instead of immediately jumping on some monetizable, profitable business immediately, right? Like especially in these hackathons, and then you can refine your idea over time. Secondly, like about the rebrand and all that, like I think, see any rebrand for any company globally also, whether it's Web3 or Web2, will be relevant if it has any significant material change. In case of Polygon, we started as Matic, which was a plasma solution, right? And what we realized that plasma is that, by the time we built out, and we were the only team which built out the production ready plasma, but by that time, the community rejected plasma, right? And imagine we committed 2 years of building to plasma, and suddenly like nobody wants to see anything about plasma, right? So it's crazy, right? And we realized that, if we have to become a protocol which survives the test of time, which lives on for 10 years, 15 years, 100 years, then we have to go away from any particular kind of approach and be a multi-approach, because our mission is what? Mission is mass adoption of Web3. And we want to reach there. And no matter which approach is there on layer 2, we strongly believe that mass adoption will come via layer 2s, layer 3s. And no matter which approach is that, at the end, the mission is to bring mass adoption. So we wanted to disassociate from any particular kind of approach and wanted to build this pure layer 2 or Ethereum scaling platform. That's why it was very important to move away from our Matic Plasma branding and move to a branding which describes our core philosophy and strategy, which is Polygon. Like the whole meaning of Polygon is like is like multifaceted scaling solution, and I think that has panned up good. I think it resonates with a lot of people, and here we are today. We are now like top 10 platform globally, I think, by market cap or whatever. But by impact, I already feel that Polygon is right there in the league. Not right there in the league. Like Ethereum and Bitcoin is next level. Like far ahead. But after that, if you count some Web3 protocols which have made an impact at that level, I think Polygon can be included in like those 5 candidates, which can be one of them can be the top 3 alongside them. Like I think we would be definitely there. I can confidently say that.
So we are back after a bout of technical difficulties. I think that's expected. This is the bear market, and then this is true bear market style. How does it? On that note, Sandeep, do you think this is a bear market with what you just saw?
For builders, absolutely no. Like if you see show them some pictures in this video that, this thing, and people will realize that,
Yeah.
But the fun part is, this is where the real bull markets are built, right? These developers, such a huge developer activity. Somebody was telling me that Alchemy told them, some of the investors of Alchemy told them that the developers activity on these on-chain applications is through the roof, right? And I think this is the consolidation time, like next 1-2 years, before we get ready for the real super cycle of crypto, hopefully, right? And yeah, like, I know this is the time. Like, I don't think that, even if it's like, monetary markets is a bear market, but for builders, this is the real bull market.
Yeah, so all said and done, I think builders are going to build, no matter what, and I think that's what keeps you building as well.
Yeah, I know you wanted to save money, but you should not have saved money on the lighting thing. Like, should have put some generators, bro.
Sure. Thanks for that. Just go through it all. Like, I just want to ask you, like, is there some thing or inherent motivation that keeps you going through all of it? And now I know there have been a lot of changes personally in your personal life as well. And congrats, by the way, for the good news. I think it's been.
I have 6 months. Like now almost 8 months old. Son, and it's been absolutely fabulous. The best experience of life. But yeah, like in terms of the mission, I think like our mission is not even started. Like people keep saying that, Polygon has done this and all that. First of all, in crypto, it's very normal for, like, where Polygon is today. Like in 2017, 18, 19, we saw some of those projects like that, and they are nowhere to be seen today. So it's a very cruel market. It can, take you somewhere and then take you out of that, like in a very short time, right? So we should not be complacent. First of all, like, we have to keep doing it for multiple years. Then only we can say that, okay, Polygon has truly made it. I don't think Polygon has made it yet. It's very early to say this, first of all. Second thing is, the mission of Polygon is not to build only technology and things like that. The mission is mass adoption of Web3. How do we make sure that happens? And that's what we are fighting for. We'll keep fighting for that till the time we see probably 50-100 million users in blockchain.
What do you think are the biggest blockers, in your opinion, to mass adoption?
I think the single biggest blocker is scalability still. Like, it's too costly to build the applications. The gas fees are still people might think that, oh, Polygon is like low gas fees and things like that, but still, like at Polygon also, it takes you $1 to do probably like 1,000 transactions. Right now you can do 100 to 1,000 transactions, somewhere in between the gas price, right? But that's still very high if you think only about the gas fees, right? We need to be able to make these systems where people can do hundreds of millions of transactions, like not people, single applications, but overall ecosystem can do hundreds of millions of transactions every day at lower costs. And then only we'll be able to see, when we have that kind of scalability, then only we'll see the mass experimentation, what has happened in mobile apps, for example. Mobile apps has 2.5 million, I think total I think is 5 million applications, 2.5 in roughly in iOS and 2.5 in Android, right? So, that level of, like, in crypto, in Web3, we have total probably 50,000 to 100,000 applications, total, right? Imagine like which scale we are playing at. So we need a lot of experimentation to happen. And for that, scalability is the first important thing. And then you have the UX part, right? So these two things are very important, but UX will come in once scalability is there. And I think that's why, like, for us also, that's the mission, zkEVM, that we are building. It's coming up very shortly. And, I think that will change the ecosystem.
Yeah, I think, like, it's so nice to, know about all of the efforts that you're making with zkEVM particularly. And also, from what I know, I don't think, like, it's the dev experience is not going to change much while doing that. And I think that's, like, going to be a key differentiator for people just building on that. And that
it's not about much. It's about, like, it should not change at all. Like, for the developers, they will feel just like they are building on Ethereum or Polygon PS chain or anything like that. For them, there is absolutely no difference. Just go, take your Solidity smart contract, deploy it. That's it. And yeah, like, that I think the EVM network effects, we don't need to talk about that. Like, 95% of developers in Web3 are EVM developers, and we want to provide them scalability on Ethereum, and that's what is the purpose of zkEVM.
Perfect. And just wanted to touch back on, like, you've been to, like, so many now global events, global events and Ethereum hackathons. across the world. What do you think is like? Do you think there's something different about the Indian community? Are there like some advantages or disadvantages that you see inherent to this community?
Yeah, I think like advantages, definitely the numbers are much bigger here.
Yep.
Like, you know, we have so many developers here, and that's what, like, you know, there is no reason why India should not be a Web3 superpower, right? You know, we just need to provide ample resources to these developer communities that are available in India to get onboarded into Web3. That's the biggest advantage part. The disadvantage part is probably a bit on the regulatory side. Like, you know, regulatory system is slightly tough. But I keep saying to the developers that, you know, don't think of, like, when you're building from India, don't think, and I should have said this on stage, although I forgot, that don't think of building only for Indian audiences. Like, you know, this is Web3, this is borderless. You can build for the whole globe. And I keep like talking about like few applications from India who found out that, okay, their application makes much more sense in Nigeria. And they are now getting tens of thousands of users from Nigeria, right? That's the power of Web3. And you don't need to think about like only Indian user as a persona in your mind. Like, think of it as a global scale. That is the disadvantage with all our Indian developers. You know, we keep thinking about Indian, you know, customer or user as the user persona. We need to think it from the more global perspective, and then only some of the businesses will be able to build more sustainable, fundable, and growable.
Are there any teams in particular, do you think, that has done this successfully from coming from India?
Yeah, I mean, we know, like, you know, from ETHIndia only, like, for example, InstaDapp has done this, Byconomy has done this into some scale. And you know, Pillow.fund I was talking about, like, you know, they are doing it for DeFi. There are multiple like that, like Juno Finance is trying to do it again for the globe. So
Push, of course.
Push, of course, like, you know, Push, you know, is doing further this thing. So, you know, there are so many applications like that. I'm maybe forgetting, you know, some more.
Yep.
But there must be, you know, there are so many like from India, like at least 10 who have done a good job.
Yeah. And I just wanted to touch upon, because like the next things that like we are personally excited about are public goods in Ethereum. And then I know, like, for you, like personally, you have been involved in this. Like, a lot of people used to think like the impact of Web3 as something very abstract, until it became very real when during COVID you, like, you know, just do a tweet, and like I think that was definitely not possible without the power of Web3. And like within just, I think, 24 hours, like that wallet like
got like tens of millions of dollars, and after that, like almost like $1 billion you know, donation. So yeah, I mean, if I was doing it in a non-Web3 way, you know, I would think about that. Then I'll go and set up an NGO, and I'll then go and set up a bank account. It will take me at least 3 months to do that. And then I will ask people. By that time, the Delta wave would already be over. So you can't do that. Like the speed at which Web3 can mobilize, you know, things is absolutely, you know, unprecedented. And that's the power of Web3. It's finance on steroid.
Sure thing. And I know I've been keeping you for a while, and you know, thanks really for taking out your time. Any like closing notes or?
No, I mean, but I just want to give a big shout out to Devfolio and Polygon teams also. The way like we have fought for this ecosystem, and you know, today we are like, this is going to be one of the biggest ETH global hackathon, right? And all congratulations and kudos to you guys for keep striving for it, and you know, hope you make it next time. Not only ETH global, but next time we have to do the world's biggest hackathon ever, like, you know, including all technologies and all that.
For sure.
Let's fight for that.
For sure. For sure, Sandeep. Thanks a lot.